BYU Sports Nation All Access, Jason Shepard with Aaron Roderick.
Well, how is life as the BYU quarterbacks coach these days?
It's always interesting. Yeah, there's never a boring day.
Take us through what your thought process is when Zach goes down and you immediately have to get Jaren in. What goes through your mind?
Well, I mean, first concern is for Zach, just, but in the middle of the game, there's not a lot of time to think about it. You just, the next guy up, and that happened to be Jaren. He's taken the reps as the number 2 guy, and he was ready to go. I thought he did a good job of giving us a chance. Would have been better if we would have been able to finish it, but yeah, there's not a lot of time to think about it during the game. You just next guy's up.
He even said this week that he thought that just getting in for that short series actually helped him kind of realize what it was like to have one of those series in a game. He thinks it actually helped him.
Yeah, I mean, every rep you take in a real game helps. I mean, those reps accrue over time, and that's how you gain experience. And, the great decision makers, usually those are guys that have played a lot of football. And I thought Zach was playing really well because, the reps he got last year really helped him, I thought, get off to a good start this year. And now Jaren's getting his chance, and I think that each rep he gets is going to just make him a better player.
Well, and how much further along do you believe he is now, having gone through the spring where he was getting those first-team reps?
Yeah, no, there's no question. He got a lot of reps in the spring, and then got quite a few reps in fall camp too, because we were managing Zach's number of throws each day. So Jaren's had a good number of practice reps in the last year, and then we've got him in every game this year too. He's, even when you only play a couple plays, you're still in there adjusting to the speed of the game and getting a feel for, how intense things move really fast in a real game. And he's had a good taste of it so far, and then of course this week will be his first start, and I'm excited to watch him play.
He is a very cool customer. He has this confidence about him, but also humble at the same time. He's one of those guys you certainly pull for.
No question, yeah. He's got all the attributes that you look for in a QB. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, but he's also got a healthy respect for the game and knows that you got to prepare. And I think he's a guy that studies it and works at it, and he has a lot of talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I would imagine in hindsight, I guess after a loss especially, you never want to have an extra week before you get to play. You probably want to get right back at it. But with everything going on, especially with the quarterback change, it was probably a benefit to you guys.
Yeah, you never want to lose a game, but the bye week, the practice reps from the bye week were helpful, and we were able to get all the QBs a good dose of reps that week, and we did some extra team stuff, 11 on 11 against our defense, a little more than we normally would, just to let the quarterbacks play.
How has Jaren looked last week during the bye week and then to start this week of practice?
He's looked sharp, and I think we just have to be patient. I mean, any QB making his first start is bound to make a few mistakes, but I have a lot of confidence in him. His skill set is similar enough to Zach that we're not, we don't have to change our offense or, invent a whole new system or anything like that. We just plug him in and go, and that's what we're trying to build, a stable of quarterbacks here that all have enough common traits that we can just run the same offense all the time.
Well, and that's when I wanted to touch on that, because last year when the quarterback change was made from Tanner to Zach, there were some changes that needed to happen to the offense. But this year, how much more do you think that helps the progression to be able to hit the ground running? No pun intended.
Well, we'll find out Saturday. It should help, but we need to score more points. That's something that needs to happen, but I think that continuing down the path of what we're doing and sticking with the plan gives you a better chance than trying to reinvent a whole new offense. Just that doesn't usually work in the middle of the season. Even last year, we made fairly significant changes, but it wasn't a whole new offense. We just tailored it a little more to Zach. But I have a lot of confidence in Jaren, and I think that I think he's going to play well.
What role has Zach taken since the injury? Jaren said he's been in the meeting rooms and still participating. What kind of role is he having right now?
Yeah, Zach's a great teammate, just like those guys were for him. I mean, that's part of playing the quarterback position. It can be a lonely deal. Sometimes the quarterback gets maybe a little more credit than he deserves, but the quarterbacks definitely take a lot of criticism and a lot of heat. And I think when you've been the guy and you've been out there and you've been through the fire and taken the criticism from media and fans and had to stand in front of your own team, and those things are tough. And Zach's been through that, and I think the other quarterbacks respect him for that. And now Zach knows that Jaren's going into that, and I think he's there to support him and help him any way he can.
This matchup specifically with South Florida, what have you guys been able to see from their defense? What are you expecting to see when you guys get to Tampa?
A lot of speed. I mean, they're good on defense. They've got they've got good players. This is a defense that will not be much of a drop off from any of the first 4 opponents we played this year. And I think early they might have had a few struggles scoring points, but it seems like they figured that out lately on their offense. But their defense is very good. A lot of speed, good pass rush, good cover guys, and they like to bring a lot of pressure. So we've got our work cut out for us.
I think when people talk about Jaren's athleticism, I think some people may interpret that as they're saying that Zach isn't athletic, and that's certainly not the case. But what added dimension does Jaren's specific athleticism add to the offense?
They're really a lot more similar than they are. It's a lot easier to find similarities than differences. I mean, they're very close. Similar skill sets, similar throwers. I mean, there's a lot in common between the two. Maybe Jaren's a little shorter and a little thicker, but they're almost the same height and weight. I mean, it's not much of a difference. And the only difference really is that Jaren just hasn't played a lot yet. So that's the unknown. But the skill set is there. I think he's got the right mindset, and we'll see. I think we just have to be patient, though. That it's a tough position, and we're playing against a really good defense Saturday, so we're gonna have to live with whatever mistakes he makes. But I have confidence that he'll make more good plays than bad.
Well, and speaking of that confidence, his teammates have the utmost confidence in him, and I was talking with him about that earlier, and he says that means the world to know that your teammates have your back. Yeah,
they believe in him because they've seen him do it in practice, and they see the way he prepares, and I think his teammates respect him. And now we got to go do it, though. We got to go prove it on the field.
Well, you guys are definitely getting out of town at the right time, heading to South Florida when the temperatures are going to drop 20 or 30 degrees. So you guys planned that quite well.
Yeah, I'm already hydrating. Thanks
for the time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.